guess, because the mattress I had was a twin bed thing.
Just a twin.
The smallest thing, and it had a permanent rut in the middle. Like just a valley in the middle of it.
Because somebody sat on it until they died, and then you turned it over.
Exactly. Just terrible. Oh,
I had a twin, and I was lucky enough that it wasn't on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
On the box spring, I had a.
You had a little frame for it.
A little metal frame.
Oh, yeah, the little metal frame.
There were no headboards.
And when you put these together, you'll pinch this right between here. Every time you put one of those frames together, fuck!
Oh, and I kept moving it, and then when I laid in it, it fell apart. And then I do it again.
That'll happen.
I didn't realize about weight.
That'll happen. An old pillow. Like, I don't remember buying.
Oh, they're going live now.
Then. I got a mattress somewhere, and it was horrible.
Here we go. Alright. Oh, that's what I meant to do, is get up and grab my cord. Alright. I restarted my stream because I may have to take that other video down due to the copyright strike that I may get on it. So, just in case, this is a continuation of that video that I was doing earlier. That's why I'm naming it the exact same thing. So there's two videos with the exact same title right then and there. Anyways, I digress. Okay. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's all part of the process. It was accidental, it wasn't intentional, and it's not like I have ads on my video, so it is what it is. I'm not trying to get one over on anybody. But yeah, that's how I feel about that situation. Situation. Can you tell I'm bored? Okay, we're going back live now. Continuation of, yeah, so all I did was capture the leader for the Lemoyne Raiders. Yeah, so not much missed. If I do have to delete that video, we're going to get started here in a second. This is also another opportunity, since I had to stop, have another cigarette. That's what happens when you're a fucking addict. You fucking need these things right away, all the time. God damn it. I just cussed for no reason. God damn it. Asshole guy. Here we go. Say hi.
So glad you could make it again. Welcome to the show. Of course, I'm Anthony Cumia. There it is. That's me. And to my left, right next to the Nakatomi Plaza, which I'm very surprised and happy to see today. I'm also not surprised, but equally as happy to see Mr. Dave Landon. Hello, everyone. It's Dave. Old Davey. You get it, Davey. Old Davey. Old Davey. including all 5 films on Blu-ray. And look at that. Is
That
awesome?
is fucking
That's
awesome.
a display. You can put that anywhere. You think I'm not fucking displaying this in the living room? Family photos and put that up. Right. Nakatomi Plaza. You gotta just make sure that Beavis doesn't attack it. He could attack it, which would be a whole new movie. Giant cat attacks Rampage with cats. You told me, yeah. Oh, so I'm very happy. I don't know. E-Rock said, hey, got delivered here. Somebody, you don't even know who sent it or something. Maybe there's a camera in it. They just want me. They know I'll just go to the living room. They want to
Hey,
get me all fucking
stop, Rocco.
fired up to say, Ernie Wise up those words. Yeah, I really am. Ernie playing video games and motherfucker. You're really not hiding much, I gotta be honest. No, I'm really
Rocco?
not.
Hey, what did I fucking say?
Friday, before the big election show on Tuesday next week. Oh my God, that's gearing up to be something huge. Yes, I'll be calling in. Yes, I'll be calling in from the hood. From Detroit, you'll be one of our satellite reporters. Yes, reporting on the election that's gonna take place. No one knows what's going on. Could you get the
All right.
It's up to the cameras, weaving around,
Bobbing and weaving and bobbing and weaving.
Anyway, the big election show is Tuesday. A lot of special guests. Everyone's going to be popping in. Of course, Nick DiPaolo.
All right. We are back and live, folks.
I'm certain a lot of people are doing it. I think. Yeah.
Yet there is nobody watching, so I'm saying folks to nobody. Anyways, I digress.
Horseshit nonsense that we've seen over the past really 4 years. This just never stopped. It went from the 2016 election, and it just was a constant clusterfuck of trying to get Trump out, get their people in. So yeah, we're right down to the wire here. The
What
last
happened?
Trump is all over the place. I think he's gearing up to do 5 rallies a day
Might as well cry.
in certain on certain days. This guy's in his 70s. He's been in the rain, in cold weather. He doesn't skimp. He doesn't like give one city some shit fucking appearance and then do another one. Everyone gets pretty much an hour and 20 minutes. It's high energy. It's fucking awesome. I don't know how the fuck this guy does this. He's superhuman when it comes to this. And he had COVID. Like, it just is really insane. His wife cakes with vegetables. Just vegetables. That's all she needs. It's amazing. She's...
It's like I just ate well.
Yeah, she ate some shit.
Genetics.
Oh, God, she's got those Eastern European fucking old Soviet Union genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah. For her. Good for her. She looks great. So, yeah, Tuesday we'll be here from pretty much when the show starts at 4 until whenever. It's gonna be 1 a.m., something like that. What, Eastside Dave is going on? And
Yeah, you 4 to 6. Dave will be 7 to 8, and Dave will just go till we cut him off, and then we go.
yeah. Give me time to grab something to eat before the riots start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till 1 a.m. per your instructions.
Yeah.
So.
1 a.m. We should have a good indication then if the city's going to be on fire by 1 a.m.
By 1 a.m., you'll know you'll be on fire if you don't get your...
Yeah. I do have my doubts whether we're going to know the results by then.
I really think if it's close,
Yeah.
we're not going to know.
Right, that's just it. It needs to be a blowout. And like I said, every indication shows Trump is just romping everywhere. Except, the line media. But what are you going to do about them? We got Dinesh. What's that? Oh, no, I was going to say we got Dinesh. What time is Dinesh on? 5? Good.
5 o'clock.
That works. He's been pretty
Trump
prevalent.
Been waking a lot of people up, it seems. If
Yeah.
you put it that way.
Yeah.
The movies got out on Amazon.
Yeah, really fucking crazy. I mean, I watched it and holy shit. It's scary. There's some scary shit in there.
I read his book the last time it was on, and it's
Yeah,
it's a bit terrifying.
it really is.
Such a man.
Yeah, smart guy. He's been run through the ringer as far as the deep state goes. He's been persecuted and thrown in a mental institution.
Oh yeah.
To keep him, to really as a punishment for his crimes.
Writing a check.
Writing a check and supporting somebody. So, we're looking forward to talking to him. He's been all over Twitter talking about the Hunter Biden thing and the media not paying any attention to it.
Ask him about that.
Yeah,
That's the scoop.
that is the big scoopage.
Big scoop.
We have big scoop of horse shit.
2 feet holding a scoop and cum.
We got also happening today. Oh my God, they were so excited. The mainstream media was saying, "Hey, we got the anonymous person that worked in Trump's inner circle and said all that shit about him a while back. They're coming public. They're saying they're not going to be anonymous. They're coming forward and showing who they are and what they did, and it's going to be right. It's going to be huge news, and they did it, and no one knows who the fuck he is. No one gives a shit. It was a Department of Homeland Security staffer. It wasn't. It's like an intern at NBC. Would be what this is. It was all the anonymous stuff. What did this anonymous staffer? What were some of the accusations that were made against Donald Trump?
You didn't say his name?
No, not at the time. There it is. Miles Taylor outs himself as anonymous. Warned of Donald Trump. Let's see. Insider, author, New York Times op-ed, and a book, anonymous. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, he wrote the book and by it. Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump is a man without character. Is why I wrote a warning, and it's why me and my colleagues have a warning by anonymous. Taylor wrote an essay. Much has been made of the fact that these writings were published anonymously. The decision wasn't easy. I wrestled with it, and I understood blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this is the person saying how bad Trump is, and then it turns out everybody's speculating, oh, is it? And then it's all these people you know of, you see next to Trump at these press conferences he gives, or some other speeches that he gives on foreign policy. And it just turns out to be some staffer, asshole, fucking anti-Trumper.
Look at the guy.
Yeah.
He's some
Pull his picture, entitled.
he's everything that America hates and against.
And he's, gonna tell you
He looks like a movie star.
a bad guy, right?
Movie star. You don't have to pull it back up. It's fine.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit, and no one gives a fuck. No one gave a fuck. Yeah, look at this guy. Hey,
It's like one of his sons.
I'm anonymous. Yeah. I'm anonymous.
I wrote that book that no one bought.
Yeah.
The one that just sits at the airport.
Apparently not anonymous to the dentist, because those are some amazing caps and...
Oh, he's got those things whitened.
Yeah. Not anonymous at the hairstylist, where they go, oh, Miles, you're here. Get in the chair. We'll hook you up with a great hairdo.
He made quite a bit of money, clearly, from his difficulties he had.
Right.
And also, you're aware he doesn't have the most character.
No.
Is that really something you're going to put out?
Look at these two.
He is a character.
Him is the soft focus, like when they put a broad on the old Star Treks, and it's like literally fuzzy. They give her a soft focus to make them look good. And then Donald Trump is oversaturated. The contrast is turned up to see every imperfection. The dark background to make it look demonic. He's got the white I'm in heaven background. It's so fucking blatant, the bias that's going on in the media right now. I don't know of any mental patient that actually believes this shit.
Yeah, that kid Kid's picture looks like the one from Glamour Shots of his senior year. If like
Yeah,
a girl got raped by a lacrosse team and that was the
Right,
only
right.
they could find.
that's not even that's a headshot you'd use when you're auditioning for a WB show.
Oh, it is.
That's exactly what that is. And Trump's is, Satan incarnate.
Well, they're trying to make him look like Hitler. Right, and
Right.
on the left is a Colgate commercial.
Yeah. The white teeth, the backgrounds are so telling right there. Just the blackness. You can't even see all of Trump's head. He's fading into the blackness. The high saturation to make him literally Orange Man. The high contrast, so every line and divot and imperfection of being Hitler for his whole life is worn on his face.
Yelling angrily.
Yelling, right. He's yelling, and the other guy's just smiling.
Oh, and the other guy's just, look at.
It's a tactic. This isn't just. Don't look at anything the media does as coincidence. That it just happened to come out that way. It is all unbelievably choreographed to put across an agenda.
And it's also pushing it to women.
Yes.
Like, look at this monster, and they're like, look
Right.
at this guy. We put just the right amount of blush on him for the photo.
Oh, women fucking straddling the side of their dryer at the house, putting sneakers in there for an uneven load. Oh, anonymous. Yeah.
Just their ex's golf clubs in the washer machine.
They're despicable. Oh, market's taking a shit. Now,
Oh, yeah, the market dropped.
43 points. What are you going to do? I think tomorrow those big numbers come out. The big third quarter numbers. They're supposed to be huge. I think they will be. That helps Trump. And I think they're chiseling away at the market so they can get a bunch of people to sucker out of their money. But I think it's going to go up tomorrow.
But is it surging coronavirus infections fuel locked? Is there surging coronavirus infections?
No, that's what the media says. It's surging. It's crazy. It's everywhere. If you look at the actual...
Less than 1%?
Yeah. You look at the actual graphs, and you see back when it started and the curve, it's like, whoa, big fucking thing. And then it goes down, and then every time it goes, a little bump in it, the surge. It's happening, and it's not even close to that initial big fucking bump that we got at the beginning of the whole thing. But, they're shutting down things every so they'll open something and then shut it down. And then open it, and then the people restock their shit, and then there's a riot and the shit gets stolen. It's just fucking... How are any Americans supposed to get some kind of fucking security in what they're doing when all this is happening? You can't have security in your business and an income and taking care of your family. These people that had, from the last riots in Philly, they had finally fixed their stores, restocked, and then this shit. Over a real piece of shit. This fucking guy pulls a knife on the cops, they shoot him.
Yeah,
It's got mugshots that look like a full fucking yearbook. Yeah, just like a high school yearbook.
Stop rioting every time a fucking criminal
Yeah.
gets shot.
Criminal gets shot.
What color they are.
It is ridiculous. Yeah, you'll get plenty of white people that get shot, knives on cops, and you're like,
White one at
cares?
the time. Just find a real shitty.
Yeah, find a piece of shit white dude.
and just shoot him at the same time and be like, we got them both.
Right, look, two people that gotta, because white people don't really give a shit about.
Yeah, go to a prison
criminals.
and tell some pedo like, hey, you're getting out today.
Yeah,
And just push him into a crime.
shoot him. Everything's fucking dandy. It's
Everybody is not innocent. Stop acting like
No.
every human being who gets shot is a great and noble fucking person.
Yeah. Oh, he had psychological problems.
Yeah, no shit. He had a knife pull it.
Of course. What sane person would do that?
Doesn't stop somebody from protecting themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, you don't want to protect ourselves from this knife because he's sad sometimes.
Yeah. It was a domestic dispute. They called the cops. Because they don't want to deal with the guy with the knife. So they call the cops to do it. If they called a social worker, the social worker would get there, the guy with the knife would be there, and the social worker would go, I'm going to call the cops. Yes. Because he's got a fucking knife.
If he was able to get to a phone before having his head
Right.
cut off.
Right. So then the cops show up.
The cops to show up with the guy's knife to the social worker.
Yeah, Nick, now you got a hostage. And yeah, what are you doing? Just fucking... You call the cops. Take the knife away from him yourself then. Do it yourself. Take the knife away, then call the shrink so they can come and sit down with him and fucking, give him a little counseling session.
Take your bare hands that are calloused from war,
Yeah.
just slap the knife and take it out of his hand like John Wick.
Right, do that.
It's fine. You'll see you can... There's no reason to call the police. Just do that.
No, the police are completely unneeded in this situation. That's why you called them. And the guy's rap sheet, oh my God, breaking into houses, holding a gun to a woman's head in one of the home invasions. He punched a cop in the face. He's got a real long record of shenanigans. He's not your gentle giant. The mugshots are hilarious. He's got gang tats all over his face and neck, and he's a piece of shit. We're allowed to say that. We're allowed to look and say, wow, based on what I'm saying here, this guy's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, and then you're a piece of shit if you see that and go, all right, let's go steal from a store.
Yeah, now let's destroy Philly because of this fucking asshole. Oh,
Drives
God.
me nuts.
It really does.
Stop you're just waiting for an excuse.
Yep.
To do something terrible.
Yeah, to get free shit and to burn stuff down because it's
Do
hilarious.
you care that he died really that much when you're watching your new TV?
They don't give a shit. I think 11 people were shot in the... Yeah, look at this guy. Yeah. This guy's going to be walking down the street toward you, and you're not going to fucking think in your head, oh, I better do something. This guy is sitting... Imagine you're going to the ATM. You need some money. He's standing in the vestibule that you need to go into right next to the ATM machine. You're going to take money out and not think twice? You're just going to do it? If you say yes, you're a fucking lying sack of shit.
Did he have the wonky Forrest Whitaker eye at the time? And what is he wearing?
I think that's the police gave him that when they were bringing him in, the wonky eye.
I thought, but wait, he's not dead?
Well, he is now.
That's what I thought.
Oh, what do you think? That was his first encounter with the law, Dave?
I thought maybe I heard a different story where this was from the other day.
Well, there's plenty of mugshots of this guy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like all through the years, different hairstyles. This guy has been photographed by the police departments and the criminal justice for many
This
years.
one's just him smiling with the slick back burn.
Yeah.
This is the one that's most easily to find, you know.
Of course it is.
Innocent man looking.
Right. He's just smiling.
Looks like fucking Milli Vanilli.
He's smiling. I think they actually have one where he's in a bow tie.
He's here.
Which is, that's the one the media pops up there.
This guy is clearly Carlton Banks.
Yeah, here's him. Here he is.
Hey, that doesn't...
Young Neil deGrasse Tyson in the lab.
That looks... It looks like Outcast shooting a video. It doesn't help.
Obviously, it's at one of those ghetto proms or something.
Definitely looks like
You know?
somebody's dummy.
Where that girl has her hair made up like a helicopter or some shit. That's what that is. And then, that's the picture they show of the guy. Again, the media being completely dishonest because there is a wall full of mugshots to choose from. And this guy it looked like the beginning of the Brady Bunch, all of his fucking mugshots. But that's the one they show.
Every time somebody commits a crime and gets shot for it, we're going to burn down a city. Something has to be done.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Sam, all right.
Something has to be done.
I'm leaving
be
out
okay.
action words.
You gonna help me?
Yeah. Here you go. Here's the many faces of this dirtbag.
You
This
gotta.
piece of shit. Why do we have to?
You gotta.
Why do we have to think this guy's life matters? I don't care what his family thinks, of course.
The Wayne Brady Bunch.
Please.
I don't care. His family's obviously gonna, because his mama came running up when he was dead.
Oh, she has to.
She did the whole. It was like a fucking
Do
movie.
something.
John Singleton in his grave was like action.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. My baby, my child, my baby. soon. Too soon. So he's got all these various mug shots, and they choose the one with the bow tie. It's just a piece of shit. Say it. He's a piece of shit. You're allowed. You're allowed. If you want equality in this country, you have to acknowledge that sometimes black people will be pieces of fucking shit. And this guy fits the criteria. He is not worth the city being burned and robbed over.
No, and there's decent and good people in these cities who are struggling and trying to get out of art robbing shit. They have the fear of God in them. A lot of them very religious. It's just annoying to see. It's like, stop fucking destroying our goddamn community.
I don't have to try to make martyrs out of every dirtbag that fucking dies at the wrong end of a cop's gun.
They're just not all fucking innocent. No. I don't even understand why you want to link, because so many people don't. But I don't understand why you want to link your color to that.
Right. Why would you give a shit? White criminals get killed, and I don't give a shit. I don't go like, oh, fuck, he's white. We better, get behind him. I'm like, oh, what did he do? Let me read. Oh, good. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit.
If people I would loosely call friends get killed, and I don't even care.
Crazy, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
How'd you know he's dead? It's like, yeah, the guy who steals tires. Fucking weed.
Good.
Shock.
I don't really care.
I liked him in high school.
Yeah. In high school, he wasn't bad. I saw him turning at the time, but I mean, to defend this guy just based on his skin color, stupid. If this was a guy, same crime, same everything, and it was a white dude, no one would give a shit. You wouldn't even have heard about this. You might have caught it on a video. Someone posts, hey, look, check this cool video out. Some guy gets shot. You'd be like, oh, okay. But you would never hear about this. And people wouldn't just go, oh, we need justice for fucking Kevin Bradley. That's a white name I came up with. Good one. Yeah. No one would give a fuck. So no one should give a fuck about this guy. It's true equality. Don't care about it. He's fucking... The neighborhood is much better off without him.
Yeah, you don't want a guy like that around.
No.
If he's going to be the kind of guy who's constantly getting arrested for violent crime,
Violent. Yes.
and then pulling out a knife, it's different. It's not a... everybody's not a George Floyd, and I know a lot of people debate that, but everybody's not the guy who was selling Lucy's and got choked out.
Oh, shit.
There's difference, and then every time.
Yeah.
Every time. It's not going to... How are you supposed to protect...
Yeah, how are you supposed to now enforce the law with people that don't want their laws enforced upon them? They react violently, and now, so what do? We just let cities burn every time this happens?
Right, so what
can happen?
We just go to the suburbs and then have a wall and a shotgun?
Yeah, actually, I like that.
People to be like,
Oh, jeez.
viewing them.
Are you running for office? I like the sound of your policies. That sounds dandy. Well, there's Trump. He's in Bulkhead City, Arizona. Arizona considered one of these swing states. Could go either way. It's crazy. And then again, he's in front of a gigantic crowd of fucking people.
So you look vaguely Puerto Rican. Can you pull your mask down?
What are you, Mexican? We built it. Look at that. Giant crowd. Air Force One. Where's the fucking spaceship? They land behind him at this point. We are voting for Trump. It is, oh, okay. Your Bateman show.
Lying on their own fucking...
Yeah. Yeah, Trump is just...
Everybody's got your merch on. Every Iron Maiden show, everyone's wearing an Iron
Maiden shit.
I had to walk down to buy an Iron Maiden shirt, so I was like, I feel absurd.
I'm really... I feel like I'm left out of this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what...
Skull in the
That's
fucking...
what it, oh, yeah. It's just various ones.
That guy, the skull... Iron Maiden skull guy.
Oh, I got it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Holding a Confederate flag.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
But I just had a person like that was like the most offensive one. In the but with this, it's the same thing. They're all wearing some merch.
Yeah,
Every
a lot of Trump hats and shirts and masks. A lot of people have the MAGA mask. on. So dude, it's crazy. This is like a movement. There was a huge car rally in Arizona too before this, where just miles of cars of Trump and Trump supporters, and they say it's, oh, we don't know, it's pretty close, people. I'm just not buying it. I do not believe anything. Polls are telling me, the news is telling me that Biden even has a fucking chance in this thing. Where is he today? Where is he? What's he saying today that's all fucked up? What's he telling a state that is their main economy that he's going to take away? What is that? What state is that today? Is it oil like it was in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas? He's going to get rid of fracking in the oil industry? And, no, he goes, I never said that. I said we're going to phase it out. Yeah, get rid of it. That's what that means. Without anything to replace it except Chinese-made solar panels. You fucking nutties. It's beyond me. Then the stuff from Tucker's show last night, and Tony B, that's all I'm calling him. Tony Boluzinski, I think his name is. Tony B. Tony Uncle Al, Tony Uncle Johnny. It's Tony B. He was on Tucker last night talking about the Biden's connection to China and these businesses in China and these payoffs, and Hunter and Jim Biden, or James Biden, the brother of Joe Biden, that they had a whole fucking thing set up to do these business deals in China and get money back just for access to Joe Biden. That was what they were selling. That's the only commodity they had to offer these businesses and the government that was worth anything. Hunter Biden didn't have some fucking... He wasn't speaking Mandarin and offering them advice on how to fucking run an energy business. He didn't know any of that shit. Neither did James Biden.
Pretty sure he knew how to point at his cock for the communication.
Point at his cock and dial a phone and go, here, it's my dad. You can talk to him. That's it. That's the commodity. That was the product of their business, was access to the vice president of the United States. So this guy, first-hand info. Not I heard a story where a guy met with Joe Biden. He met with Joe Biden a couple of times and talked to them about this business dealing and was involved in it and involved in how the money was cut up. And the big guy, Joe Biden, was on the list.
If you do want to talk about racial inequality and fix it,
yeah.
The mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, is in prison.
Yeah.
And one of the things he did was siphon the money through his father. His dad would go and make the deals, go to the pancake house, take his cut, and then cut it over to the mayor. He is in prison for decades.
Because it's illegal.
So if you want to even it out, because he's a black fella.
Right.
And by the way, he was a
Crime family.
much better mayor than de Blasio by at least he built parks. So you have this.
Give it a try.
So yeah, but if that is in fact a crime, why is he not in prison then?
Why is he not? Not only why is he not in prison, why the fuck isn't the media even mentioning this? Do you know you could go to CNN or MSNBC, all those sites, and put in the name of Tony B., and it won't even pop up. Zero stories have been told about. This is a guy who said he sat there and met with Joe Biden, actual dollar figures.
I hear he's also met with certain death.
Yes, yeah, he is worried about that. He's got like some ex-SEAL team members protecting him and his house and his family. Yeah, Tony Bobulinski did not match any documents.
This is so fucked up.
How do you not do? That's all of CNN. How do you not at least acknowledge that it's a story that people are reading because it's close to an election and the news, the unbiased, just trying to give you the news, is in Biden's corner and will not put this out. It's disgusting. It's despicable. I believe in some way it's criminal, if not so completely unethical that there shouldn't be a CNN. There shouldn't be a CNN.
Look over here at this other story. They're just saying doesn't exist. I've never heard about it.
Never heard about it.
Who, Tony B? Never met him.
They're all, and every one of these news organizations that won't mention this story are all over this anonymous guy.
Right.
They're all over that. Where he writes that he heard things and people told him stuff and things. But this is a first-hand account. This Tony guy, first-hand account. I have documents. I have the emails about meetings. He's got documentation to back this up. Not shit he wrote either. Shit that was written to him by the Bidens. This is evidence. Valuable evidence. Put it in the car, Junior. Put it in the car.
Also, this breaking news they found has been available at bookstores nationwide for about a year.
For a year now.
Not
So
really breaking.
they just can't bring themselves to present anything that might hurt their candidate, Joe Biden. The news wants Trump out. There is such a bias in the mainstream media that they won't even touch a story like this. And I said this before. If you don't believe it and think it's all fake and phony, do a story on how the fuck does such a fake, phony story get so much exposure to people through social media and whatnot. How does that happen? Do that story. Do something to acknowledge that that story came across your fucking desk. They won't touch it. And it's just them being in Biden's corner. How the fuck do you vote for this guy? He's got the entire state-run, deep state-run media behind him. I'm disgusted. Yes, sir.
So you asked where Biden
I
is
got no money to
campaign
give
today.
you,
Well,
but
Kamala
I
is
think I
in
might got some
Arizona also, so this is her
Well,
crowd.
some
cool.
drunk's
Seems
been
like
hoarding his money
nobody's
in this
there,
little
right?
place south
And
of
then right at
Rhodes
the end
down
of her
by the
speech, I
river.
just checked out.
Lot of
Seems
money.
they
Very
walked
drunk.
some people in
At
here
least that's what they
just
say.
to do a little front
Oh,
run
yeah?
action.
Why'd
and then
I
if
be
you go
interested
right
in
before
that,
the
huh?
end, you see it's literally a single file.
Oh my
line
God, it's a
across
single
the-
line of people.
across the fence.
Dude, let me tell you
That's today.
the kid standing in the street in Pet Cemetery. Let me tell you the experience I've had.
Jews floating around.
They're called shitty gigs.
I don't know, just a hunch.
I've been in
Up
bands
to
my
you,
whole
friend.
life, and we have played some great gigs, and we have played some shitty gigs. And there's nothing worse than going up on stage, looking out there, and there's no one out on the floor. There's a couple of people maybe milling about, and then you gotta be like, "Come on, people, let's bring it up front. Yeah, come on." And a few people will get up and get against the stage, usually drunk people or fat chicks.
Yeah.
And they'll get up there, and then you look down and go, that's how they have to feel every day. Another shit gig. I'm at another shitty gig.
But imagine, well, look, Trump has all
Maybe Trump took them all.
the fat chicks.
All the fat chicks.
Joking, ladies. I was gonna say, has all the drunk people and fat chicks.
Yeah,
You just upset somebody listening. It's a fucking joke. Relax.
We're in the same state. We're hearing nothing but that Biden is ahead. And especially a place like Arizona. It's a swing state. It's crazy. Could go either way, but Biden's ahead by this and that. And then you see this. They tell you one thing. And the people that are telling you, remember, they have lied to you nonstop for 4 fucking years at least. For decades, actually. But for 4 years, they haven't even given a shit to make it look like they're not lying.
4 years, it's been extreme. I feel like the political sides they were what they were.
Yeah.
But the last 4 years have been utter insanity.
Just completely. They have decided we don't even want to look unbiased anymore. We're not even going to try. Yes, we want Joe Biden to win. So they're the only ones telling you that Biden might be ahead in this state, or it could go either way, a coin toss state. And then, instead of listening to people that have lied to you for 4 fucking years, with our own eyes and ears, we look and see Donald Trump with thousands of people in front of him.
Super spreader.
Festival crowd, a super spreader flu event. That he's just the people love him. They stay to the end. They fucking dance. They sing. It's nuts.
Bon
Look at this.
Jovi in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like they're scalping. It's all the way to his plane.
It's right to Air Force One.
Behind him because of overflow.
Yeah,
Make it
overflow.
look like there's people there.
It's either side of him. It's literally the most people he's allowed to let in. There's a capacity that they can't go over, and that's it every time. It's maxed out. And then you have Kamala. Yes, Kamala.
Kamala, I'm saying A-L-A. Just because they spelled it, it's actually how we were all pronouncing it.
saying Kamala. I don't care.
I think Kamala's correct, though.
I like saying Kamala. This is Kamala. Kamala. Yeah, then you got her in the same state
Or Kumburger.
on the same day. And she has a single file line of people in front of her stage, and that's it. And you're telling me that this is close?
No, there's one black one. I just want to point that out at the very end. Okay, two, maybe.
And a quarter of that crowd is Secret Service.
Okay, bye now.
Hi. Look at her waving. There's no one there. They must look at these Trump rallies at night. They just look, and they maybe in a room together, conference they're having, and they must go, how the fuck did he do this? How the fuck did this guy get to the point where no matter where he goes in the entire country, he draws thousands of fucking people? We do an appearance. There's 10 people there. I'm looking like an idiot waving to 10 people.
Well, somebody should come in then and go, here, I'll show you, and it'll look like they're going to present something, and it'll just be a mirror. And it'll go, this is why. And
This is why.
This is why.
Welcome back.
He's running against this.
Oh, what do you have?
This room of people.
So I'm not buying anything. A lot of.
Why wouldn't you? It's so obvious. This is like, you know, those. I can't think of one in particular right now, but every few years there's a
All
Super
made to
Bowl
measure.
where you know it's going to be a blowout. Yeah, well, what was the last one? Like Patriots versus who? That we knew the Patriots were going to just swipe them out. And
Other than Seattle, I think Seattle might have won. Who? I don't remember.
But no, it's like they said, it's Patriots, whatever, and it's like, well, you know, I don't know, their defense over the year looked pretty good against Tom Brady. He might not be able to do what he does here, and then everyone goes, I don't know. They're really making me think maybe the Patriots will lose. And then the Patriots just wiped them out again, and it was like, and then after the game you go, of course they did. Why did I think that this other team even had a chance? And I'll tell you why. Because they want you to watch the fucking Super Bowl. They want you to bet on the other team, perhaps. They want what they're doing with Joe Biden. What the media is doing, pushing this to make Joe Biden. It's not so much because people ask me, well, why would they do that? Wouldn't they want people to think Trump is winning so they won't go out and vote? They'll think, well, Trump is winning already. I don't have to go out and vote. No, that's not the plan. They know Trump voters are just going to go out and vote anyway. But here's the plan. They have to make it look like Biden's an actual viable candidate. This is so over that if they actually presented the numbers and presented these two candidates the way they really are polling with the American people,
Bison is up
no one
top
would vote
there.
for Joe. Because they know it'd be a lost
I think
fucking
there's an
cause.
elk there
And that's what
and
it
an
is.
elk
That's why they're pumping
there.
Joe Biden up to make it seem like he's a viable
Another
candidate.
bison there.
That there's a chance, and you should go out and support him. Because the truth is,
A lot of folk want to apprentice under
and
me.
it's such a
I got no
fucking
We're
one-way
going
blowout for
north.
Why
Trump.
would I want some?
But we gotta go get some
There's-
stuff at
That's
camp
what we're gonna
first.
see. Don't fret, people. It's gonna be a blowout.
And by pumping, you mean with B12 and the.
And whatever anti-Alzheimer medicine. And
There's
yeah,
some bad blood I don't know about here.
fucking cerebellums.
Thank you for your help.
It is the human adrenaline gland.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Feel like he can move.
You gotta scare the kid first, though. That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah,
In order to get that good kid juice, you run into you and make you yum.
Some excitement.
Yeah. That's why they torture them and do Satan rituals, is to scare the child, and then adrenaline and other hormones and enzymes get pumped through, and then that's the good stuff you gotta take out.
What I truly don't understand, though, is why people are going so hard at him, because they're going to lose their identity. People are so fucking lost.
I don't think people care about identity. They don't care about reputation.
They don't care about their own identity because everything's a fucking color or a sex.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Everything has to be divided into something now.
Yeah.
Nobody can be an individual, and that's why they don't worry about it. Imagine
Yeah.
if any of these people just had an individual fucking thought. That's you're getting rid of the one guy who you're directing all your rage towards.
Yeah.
Your rage is your personality.
They're so original that you can't tell one Antifa mugshot from the next.
Right.
And every single one of them looks like a faggot guy or a fucking dyke girl.
Right.
The green hair thing, which is just such a stereotypical, like it's a hacky joke at this point, but they have it. They actually have the dumb green hair, the nose ring, the this, the that, and it's just like, that's your unique identity, is to be every fucking person that you hang around and blather your nonsense to.
Well, it's the conformist episode of South Park where the
Yeah.
goth kids are talking
Oh, the
about
goth
how-
kids.
Yeah, like all these conformists dress the exact same way, listen to the exact same music, and say the exact same things.
Yeah.
Right, that's you.
That's you, asshole.
You have no identity. You just want acceptance from something.
Yeah.
And you take away their rage and their hate. What do you have left?
Yeah.
They're just mad. They're just trying to get attention. That's why they do that.
Anger. It's all anger.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
This looks like a joke.
The fucking Midsummer in the top right. Jesus Christ.
It's a joke. These are the people that are anti-Trump, anti-government, anti-police, and this is their unique individual, I'm my own person. You can't tell what half of them are.
No, the one guy just looks like if the Joker had fallen into a chemical vat of AIDS.
Yeah. I'd like to know who played that binocular trick on him, where they put the ink on the binoculars and go, hey, look at this. And they go like that, and you go, oh, I don't see nothing. And then you go, look, you're an idiot. I like how most of them have been clobbered about the head in some fashion.
Well, I like how bottom left is a mullet that's half green.
Yeah, the half-green mullet. That shows how unique it is, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Can't tell. Who gives a fuck at this point?
Oh, what a lovely blonde woman right up there. That's a nice mugshot to have.
Yeah, the crying black root.
What the fuck is that on the top left? Is
Oh,
that a
jeez.
face? Like, is that a tattoo?
Probably. Yeah, it's probably a tattoo.
You worship the sun and eat people? Jesus.
Yeah, that's some
Christ.
kind of thing. Like I base everything I do off of the old Mayans. And then to get a tattoo that says, please never ever hire me for anything.
Yeah, too bad you didn't base your life off the Mayans and end yourself a few years ago.
Have somebody
in 2012.
thrust a dagger through your heart, rip it out, and eat it in front of you.
And then there's and then they're the same
Yeah.
fucking
And
thing.
then here you go, green, purple, the androgynous douchebag with the fucking librarian glasses,
the guy who's not
head
Indian
guy.
with a dot in the middle of his head.
Is
The guy, if that's your head, that's Dick Tracy shit.
It's a Dick Tracy villain.
It's disgusting.
Oh no, it's Big Head.
Big Head's here.
It's part of Antifa, Big Head.
Jesus, you want to show the fucking George Floyd killing on your forehead?
It's not,
We just need you to come here because we want a projector.
what happens to Shriners Hospital kids when they grow up. And then Popeye again in the upper, over there, upper right. What's he doing with his eyes? Hello, I'm Antifa.
His eyes are way too close together for his parents.
Yeah, a lot of them have those beady eyes. Like, again, Dick Tracy villain.
And then top right just looks like.
He's had nothing going on since No Doubt broke up.
Oh yeah, he's just obsessed.
Yeah, the No Doubt guy. Yeah, that's somebody that just, he looks a little shameful with his smile, his upside down fake smile. Like, dude, I was just trying to get laid. Like, I dyed my hair. I just was into this for the chicks.
He just wanted to be a successful drummer. And
Yeah.
when he left the band to do his solo album, shit took a nasty turn.
They all look like that. They're all just these fucking wastes of humanity. And, yeah, that's their individuality, being exactly the same.
And I had a mohawk before any of you, and then
Yes.
I got rid of it.
Yes, you did.
I had one years ago, too. And I had earrings. I had 6 of them. You know what I was trying to do? Get attention, because I was a lonely drug addict.
The attention thing is
I wanted someone to love me. You guys have the same problem.
It is. A lot of these things, everything you see, it's this cry for attention.
It's not kids anymore. That's
No, you're not kids that get attention like that.
children.
Yes,
Which is
yes.
why they look like teenagers.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I get it if you're fucking 17 and you come home with a
Yeah.
nose ring.
You're 30 and your hair is green. And
Why?
It's time to fucking hang it up. You're embarrassing.
It's like,
I've
we
got
just...
another group.
Oh, but why not?
Oh, good. Oh my God. What the fuck?
I like how the one guy has the middle of his head shaved like Donald Duck making a putt.
Yeah, what is that? Oh my God.
I don't put the look at the guy or girl to the left.
Big head guy again.
Long side hair thing.
Like a game of concentration. I think big head guy is there.
That's a Muppet. The far left is a Muppet. Big head guy's back. The dueling.
Oh, that guy.
One side's pink and one side's
Blue, because my gender, I never know which day that my gender will be. Shut the fuck up. And I bet all these losers go up to him and go like, oh my God, I love your hair. Yeah. They just give each other that attention that they crave, but it's not enough. They need the attention from the people that aren't in their group, and that they'll never get. So that's why they scream and cry.
the guy with the glasses looks like he'd be the smug guy at the record store, but now he's the smug guy at the vape shop who's behind the counter.
The vape shop smug
Just,
guy.
telling you how shitty you are for
Middle
the various
row.
brands.
Middle row on the left is Jimmy Fallon. Middle is Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, that's Kevin Smith.
Oh wow. Well, there's George Michael. She got.
Oh my
There's
God.
Gary Glitter after they went through his computer. Here's.
Yeah, look at this guy.
This guy, he's got the Joker, except he carved a frown.
He wears eye makeup and that with the loser beard.
Now look at that. Yeah, you look like you look like Jonah Hill in Party Monster. You just look like I would just disown you. I'd be like,
Yeah.
don't call here until you wipe that off.
I like that guy got tuned up a little.
Oh, I do too. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad, it's Brandon. Need help.
That is the Joker poster. That's the cut on the face.
It is.
Where it's like, why so serious?
Right. Yeah.
He just did half his face. I was like, that hurt though.
I fucking hate them.
I just couldn't imagine having to talk to one of them.
No.
I think all they do is yell.
Just fucking yelling, angry. There's a clip, which one is it? The girl she's bitching about fucking Trump. What the hell? It might have been from yesterday's. Oh yeah. Garrett usually gives me yesterday's sheet too.
Well, Garrett's dead.
No, God forbid. God forbid. I hear he's home.
He's home right now, yeah. I talked to him last night.
Yeah, he's home.
We miss Garrett.
We missed the Garrett.
I hope it's not mad cow like people think.
Oh, it can't be mad cow
I
disease.
know one person who died of mad cow.
Oh my God.
I do, and then his wife, anytime I would order a steak, would like lecture me. Like, I got a steak rare, and it's like, I cannot believe, did you know that my husband died? And it's like, your husband's a fucking weird accident. Like,
Yeah, it's you can't.
I'm gonna eat this steak because he can't.
Yeah. Oh, here's let's give this a look. Mental page.
I'm crying right now over the loss of more lives, and this is what is about to drive past me.
Those are hilarious. All over the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, prisoner of war in American flag.
I'm like
Tough shit.
shook right now. Oh, there's another one. Another one coming. There's a parade of them. I'm shaking. What is wrong with people?
What's wrong
These
with
are
people?
human beings. These are lives. Shook. I'm fucking shook. What is enough? What is enough? What is enough?
I don't know, where's your seatbelt?
Is there? Dude,
When is enough?
she's losing her mind over seeing trucks with Trump flags and American flags flags on it.
That was just a thin blue line flag.
Yeah, that was a thin blue line flag and a POW. Right.
Why don't we show, why don't you find out what it's like to be a prisoner of war, and then you can find out why that flag's important to them?
Yeah. How about that? No, she is. Now, imagine her upon hearing, and Donald Trump has been, is the next president of the United States. Donald has won the election for, she'll kill herself.
Just hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Can just...
I can't. I'm shaking. Like she's shaking just seeing somebody driving a truck with a flag on it.
Just making Molotov cocktails with her fucking fat John Goodman-looking girlfriend.
What does she think is going to happen? That they're going to stop and drag her out of the car? Like Trump supporters, people that do the Trump parades and flotillas and the car parades, they are the most peaceful people. You never hear about it. Anytime I say that, I go, yeah, name one instance where a Trump rally, there was violence that the Trump rally people started. Oh, they punched a black guy. What, in 2016? Before the election, there was a heckler and he got punched in the face at a Trump. You got to bring that up. There's been thousands, if not a million people that have been gathered to support Trump since then. And for some reason, you got to go back that far? I could go back 5 minutes and show you Antifa and assholes that you probably think are awesome people beating the shit out of people. So what is she so scared of? They're mentally ill. They really are.
Stop burning down cities and attacking people. You'll realize you're the problem.
Yeah. Are we the baddies? They're really those people. Are we the baddies guy?
They are. What do you have to? Sorry.
Very quick story. So I was hanging out with some of my liberal friends, as many people in New York are. And this one girl says, what would you do if you were in this situation? She says, I was out and I saw a boat and it had Trump flags all over it. And she goes, and on this boat there were a bunch of people partying. There was cocaine, tons of cocaine on the back, and there was beautiful, probably prostitutes or strippers everywhere. And I'm like, and she's like, well, what would you do? And I'm like, I would fucking put on a MAGA hat and try to get on that fucking boat.
Yeah, swim for it.
It's like the best party I could possibly imagine right now.
Like, so you saw a good time and got upset about it?
Exactly.
What I love about some of my liberal friends where they will say shit like that, where it's like, oh, you have a problem with cocaine? Brooklyn comedians?
Yeah. Shut up.
Your noses have killed more people in Mexico than you'll ever realize.
Yeah.
Full of shit.
They have this weird, completely irrational fear of Trump supporters. And it's all, again, based on what the fucking media puts out there. They put it out there that these are dangerous people with veins bulging, marching out of the woods with torches and hate. And I say, what? Regardless of what those people, what their ideology is, that was a peaceful protest.
They didn't come out of the woods.
No.
They had permits.
They had permits. They had their torches. They're marching.
Yeah.
Whatever they're saying, like,
Just that kept mosquitoes away.
yeah, some fucking.
Exactly.
You need that shit.
Exactly.
Very buggy down there. And they're marching. Now, whatever they're saying, regardless, don't even think about what they're saying. What they're doing is marching in a line of people, completely peaceful. They weren't destroying anything. So what's that? What's wrong with that? It's hate. And then the left, Antifa and whatnot, and Black Lives Matter are destroying cities. There were 11 people shot in Philly last night during the looting. So that's the dangerous shit. That's where you don't want to be.
Well, yeah, and Philly's...
All right, we're back.
Yeah, twice now. Poor fucking Philadelphia. It's just a commercial for Trump in Pennsylvania, another swing state where, shit like this, people look and just go, yeah, we can't have this.
And I was just there, and there's, I'd say for every 11, 12 Trump signs, there's a Biden one.
Biden kind
For
of.
every, really huge, outside sale of Trump merchandise.
Yeah.
Cars, there's zero for Biden.
Yeah. Dude, let me tell you something. Let me inform the viewers of this very program. Election day is Tuesday. It's going to be nuts. Things are going to get insane. That's why you need to prepare with CompoundMedia.com. That's right, people. No secret. 2020 has sucked. The media is screaming about COVID-19. The election is happening next week. And regardless of how the election turns out, you need to be prepared for the worst. I've been talking about this for years. Civil unrest. It's getting very ugly. We see it. We see it. The entire system could fall apart very quickly. We see it happen with hurricanes, especially up here in the Northeast. We saw with things fray around the edges pretty quickly. When food gets short, fuel, things like that, people start getting a little nuts. You got to prepare for that. Food shortages are a definite possibility. Remember, back in March, especially since we're predicting the second wave of COVID, the media is all up with the second wave of COVID. It's pandemonium out there. Grocery stores and food manufacturers are already preparing themselves for nationwide panic. Are you going to be ready, though? You're going to be in the grocery store trying to find something when the shelves are empty? Don't wait until it's too late to help you get what is needed. We've just launched PrepareWithCompoundMedia.com to help you build your emergency food supply today. We've teamed up with the experts at My Patriot Supply and created a site where you can buy the things you'll need to be prepared for whatever comes down the road. We don't know. It's insanity out there. Whatever comes down the road, food, filtration systems, and a lot more available are going to be shipped directly to your door. While your door is still there, mind you. Let me tell you. And right now you can order a full 4-week supply of delicious, nutritious meals that give you a life-saving 2,000 calories a day. Be prepared for the worst. And we're offering their life-saving 4-week supply of food priced extra low for a limited time when you buy it at PrepareWithCompoundMedia.com. The next wave of violence and unrest will be worse than anything we've experienced. You see it happening on a nightly basis. Go to PrepareWithCompoundMedia.com and get ready right now. That's PrepareWithCompoundMedia.com. You're gonna kick yourself if you don't. Maybe even worse. Absolutely. Supplies. You need your supplies. Couldn't even get toilet paper. And when the COVID thing first started, couldn't even get toilet paper. What do you think? Civil unrest happens on a national scale after the election? You're going to be able to waltz into your local fucking Ralph's and grab a Hungry Man TV dinner? You out of your goddamn mind? You might have to be self-sufficient for a while. PrepareWithCompoundMedia.com. That's right. Is Dinesh available again? I'm talking to Dinesh. Had him on a few times. He's very good. And I've been watching him. What is that? We had him on a few times. He's really good. Oh, he is. Very cool. Dinesh D'Souza. There he is. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks. Good to be on the show. This is awesome.
Yeah, good to see you again. We've had you on a few times and always get the audience talking. I love it. I've been paying attention to your Twitter and other appearances that you've done in regards to, of course, Trump Card, your movie, which is amazing, frightening at the same time. And I've also seen your take on the media and what they're saying and what they're not saying about this Hunter Biden thing. And, man, your take is spot on.
I mean, can you imagine devoting hundreds of acres of coverage to the Russian dossier, a fabricated document paid for by the Democratic National Committee, and then ignoring the biggest story of the election campaign? It'd be bad enough if we had Hunter Biden's laptop and he makes direct references to splitting the loot with Biden, but now we've got their outside business partner who had meetings not just with the brothers and Hunter, but with Biden himself. And he's got recordings and texts. And this is like media blackout. And this is so embarrassing because it exposes the U.S. media as a sort of international fraud operation.
It really is. To talk about being in the pocket of a candidate and of the deep state, everything is blown off as debunked debunked and a conspiracy theory. And you see social media, we've seen this, just wipe people off. They become unpersons, like Orwellian 1984 predictions. And these are people that are just posting links to verified things that were on the laptop. Of course, Tony B, we saw him speaking on Tucker the other day, talking about his meetings, yes, with the Bidens. And these are verified with emails and texts. And they're backed up, and they will not touch it. And I believe, I don't think it's hard to not come to this conclusion, that it's purely for political reasons they want Joe Biden to win the presidency.
First of all, think for a minute about just the sheer stupidity of the phrase conspiracy theory. Most criminal acts are conspiracies. I mean, the mafia is a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
If Joe Biden goes on foreign trips, and we're talking now, by the way, of multiple trips to the Ukraine, trips to China, trips to Iraq, trips to Costa Rica, always with one family member in tow. And then as a result of the trip, the family member gets amazing deals. A contract to build 100,000 homes in Iraq, a contract to do green energy projects in Costa Rica, a private equity deal in China. These are given to people, Bidens, who have no experience in any of these fields whatsoever. So this is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy headed by Joe Biden himself.
Yeah, a criminal conspiracy. You're looking, the only commodity that Hunter Biden and James Biden have is access to Joe Biden. They don't have expertise. They don't have materials that they are trading for money. They have access to the Vice President of the United States. How do people not see this? Dinesh, how is it that this is right in front of people's eyes, and we're in a time and place here in America where people refuse to acknowledge it or see it?
Well, I was just on a radio show, and it's a very smart guy. He's like, well, Dinesh D'Souza's different than Trump. He's got hotels around the world. He makes people meet at his resorts. And I'm like, that's just the point. Trump is a businessman. He has hotels. The hotel is his service. He's providing a real product. Now, let's think about what Biden's product is. Biden is not the inventor of the iPhone. He hasn't created Amazon.com. What is he selling? He's selling public access. And who is he selling out? He's selling out the American people. Why? Because the Chinese aren't paying him all this money for nothing. They're paying this money for him to back the Chinese interest over the American interest. So in effect, it's ultimately the American taxpayer who's getting ripped off.
How do you see post-election, and regardless of who wins,
Wrong horse, buddy.
We'll get into it a little, these polls and the lying media and the reality that we see between Trump and Biden. But with the media, how do you see America getting a hold again of this organization that is supposed to be our eyes and ears? They're supposed to be the people that go to our elected officials and hold them accountable. Just
Jesus, almost went off the edge there.
Never get it back, and if so, how do you believe that even starts to happen?
Well, I mean, we get it back, but we don't get it back from these guys. They are incorrigible. They're beyond rehabilitation. It's not as if you can call them to some higher calling. We've been trying. I mean, for years, people have been saying, look at the double standard. Look at the way you cover Trump versus the way you cover Biden. But the reason that these appeals have fallen on deaf ears is they appeal to a higher standard, a kind of appeal to impartiality or fairness, and these people don't have any interest in that. They don't believe in it anymore. So you're not going to get sort of a rehabilitated Jake Tapper or Wolf Blitzer. These people are essentially extensions of the Democratic National Committee. We just got to learn to see them as such. But a new media will emerge of people who earn the public trust because they show that they can call it the way they see it. They are truly independent. They're captive to neither side. They're offering trustworthy information to the American people. They allow the American people to adjudicate. We realize with some horror we don't have a media in that sense, but we need one.
It is insane that years ago, and I remember I grew up, as a kid with Walter Cronkite on the TV and all these classic newscasters, and although biased in their own ways, it wasn't anywhere near what we're seeing now. And their currency was their trust. When they had an anonymous source, we believed it because this guy hadn't lied to us before. He had actually told us the truth. These things eventually were verified. And that's all they have as their currency as to why we should trust them is their reputation. And like you said, they don't care about that anymore. That's gone. But the other thing that you said, that another media with trustworthy people have to emerge from this, they're not allowing it. The people like Twitter and Facebook and what are shutting down. They're shutting down the New York Post, for God's sake. What chance does an independent journalist who wants to be unbiased have of not being censored by these social media giants?
Well, here is a case, and this is similar to a lot of the other problems we're having. We really do need, in this case, government intervention. And here's why. Because our rights, our basic rights, let's say our right to free speech, to freedom of religion, to assembly, these are rights that must be protected by the federal government. Who else is going to protect them when they're endangered? So somehow these digital platforms, they built their monopolies on false premises. Here's the false premise. They basically said, look, we're sort of like the phone company. We're creating this amazing new platform, and you can reconnect with your long-lost college friends, and these are going to be forums of open debate. So they pretended to be creating platforms. Instead, what we realize is that they're less like the phone company. Because can you imagine if AT&T said, listen, from now on, we're going to be monitoring your phone calls. We're going to be making sure that fan content is excluded from the phone. You can only make 2 phone calls a week. If you misbehave, even though you pay your bill, we're going to cancel your phone service. I mean, people would go berserk. They'd shut down AT&T. Yeah. So the digital platforms came to power on the same false premise, but they're not like the phone company. They're more like the Atlantic Monthly. And so they've got to be held accountable for everything on their platform. I would unleash the full fury of the federal government against them. RICO statutes, election interference, antitrust, Section 230, throw the book at them.
Yeah, I almost think, though, if what was going on with the phone company, of course, in the hypothetical, that as long as you were on that side of wokeness, people really wouldn't care. That they really don't care about these restrictions being put on us. Because, I guess, what I've noticed with Twitter, Google, all these major companies that basically control not only the world, but the way that we think as Americans and give us our information. What are we fighting against that's bigger than this? Because the idea that we can't see Hunter's laptop, the idea that all this, not even the idea, the fact that we can't see Hunter's laptop.
Yeah, they won't allow it.
That everything's that's being hidden now from the public about that, in and of itself, what is the big picture here? I guess, and I read your book, United States of Socialism, so I may be saying the title wrong, I apologize, but I realize that we are trying to stop a socialist entity, but who's really the main bad guy here? Because this is going way beyond conspiracy theory to the point that it's fucking my face, for lack of a better term. And I mean,
this is really, we're in George Orwell territory here.
Yeah.
Where, in 1984, George Orwell's sort of masterpiece, he talks about newspeak, where the media is a fraud. He calls them the outer wing of Big Brother, of the party. There's an inner party and an outer party. The media is part of the outer party. They essentially lie. What does academia do? They rewrite history. That's going on now. So in Orwell's view, socialism always presents itself social justice, economic redistribution, but its real goal is tyranny. It's to create a complete uniformity in the whole society. It's to turn the citizen into a worm. And this is also what goes on, for example, think of what is the real objective of like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. It's to intimidate people on the street. It's basically to make you bow down to them. It's to ultimately... If you kiss their feet, then they're satisfied. But if you don't, you're an enemy of the state. They've got to beat you up. They've got to pull you out of your car at an intersection. So all of this is going on in America. It's a troubling escalation from the America that we grew up in. And if we allow it, I'm afraid it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, we see it. We see that happening on a daily basis.
That's gang tactics. That's what.
Yeah, gang tactics, mafia tactics. Never anything good.
Never building a park or.
No, it's always bad. We've seen it historically before. This isn't anything to go, oh wow, what a new tactic to use when trying to introduce socialism/communism into a country. It's always done this way. There's your muscle wing, your propaganda wing, and then just demoralizing the general public. With the thing with the COVID, I mean, 8 months ago, 7 months ago, when this whole thing started, we were told, we recommend you wear a mask, go about your lives though, be conscious of people you're around, and then 8 months later, there's fines for not wearing masks. People are getting citations for $15,000 written if your restaurant door is open. They're literally making restaurants build another restaurant in the parking lot while their perfectly good restaurant can't open. It's insanity. I think it's a morale. It's something to get people's morale so low that they're much more easily influenced.
Well, I have two things to say about it. I mean, the first thing is, let's pick up a copy of the Constitution and take a peek inside. Nowhere does it say, as I read it, it says, Congress shall make no law restricting freedom of assembly. And Congress here refers to federal and state governments. So the government is not allowed to restrict my freedom of assembly. Period. It's not as if, unless there's a virus, I don't see that in there. So these guys are running roughshod over the Constitution. You know, that's the first point. And the second point is that they're using the politics of fear. They've always realized that when the people are in a kind of crowd stampede, they can make them do really stupid things that they would never do if they sat back and thought about it. So the left is always trying to create this, you know, it goes back to the Depression when FDR realized when people are scared, I can push through this, I can push through that. So since I came to America in the 70s, you know, the world is running out of food. In the 1980s, nuclear winter. Then in the 1990s, the ozone layer is dissipating. Then climate apocalypse. Now coronavirus. One thing after another, and I'm not saying all these things aren't real, but I'm saying the fear is being manipulated for ideological gain.
Yeah, it's obvious, and when you bring it up like that and put all those things in a nice line back to back, we are kept in this constant state of fear, and I've noticed the close
fusion.
Yeah, a lot of contradiction.
Yeah, even worse is I think that creates more of the fear. Is because we can confuse people all about what this virus is about. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory to look at people and go, they're afraid, because all you're doing is turning each other on one another, regardless of what information you have. Like all of a sudden we're doctors and we're just fighting each other.
That's one thing that social media has done, has made everyone an instant overnight expert in whatever the biggest topic of the day is. You become a nuclear physicist, you're a doctor, you're a lot of lawyers, a lot of car window lawyers turn up these days that think they know the law right until they're tased and dragged out their window. But yeah,
well, we've also, you know, we've lost our ability to do simple kind of moral reasoning. I mean, think about it this way. Let's say I don't wear a mask. How am I violating your rights? And the answer is, well, you know, you could give me the virus. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you own the air that exists between us? No. It's my air as much as your air. You have no knowledge. So this is not a case of me swinging my arm and making contact with your face. It's me getting out there and breathing. Yeah. And if you don't like that common air, go someplace else. I mean, this is how we live in a free society. I don't have the right to infringe on your rights, but since you don't own the common air between us, I am not violating your rights if I don't wear a mask.
We see so many instances where the United States is compared to other nations when it comes to, I don't know, the death toll with COVID, gun instances of gun deaths, a lot of things. They go, well, look at this nation and look at this population per capita. But what people don't take into consideration is that we're such a free nation. We're supposed to be such a free nation that there are inherent risks in living in a nation like this. If you want pure safety, you'll find the government and even industry is going to be a little more tyrannical to keep the people, quote, safe. But what we're getting is the freedom, yes, to make our own decisions. The freedom to be as stupid as we want to be sometimes. It's not a good thing, but it is in line with the freedoms we have. The First Amendment has been trounced upon these past few years, especially the idea of hate speech and things like that, and somebody feeling that they know what's best for people to hear or not hear, and they believe it. They seem like educated, knowledgeable people as far as the First Amendment goes, but they believe that there's a certain speech that they have heard that they think should not be heard. And that, to me, is probably one of the most dangerous things we're looking at right now in this country.
Well, it's, the hate speech thing is a pure pretext, because if there was a clearly demarcated line, you can't say the N-word, you can't say this and that, and this is hate speech. But think about it. This is why the digital platforms started restricting content. We've got to prevent the internet from being a forum for hate speech. And pretty soon they're restricting the New York Post. This is one of the oldest newspapers in America doing a bombshell fact-based article on the Bidens. And is that hate speech? How is it hate speech? Suddenly, if you have salacious images on Hunter Biden's computer, you're spreading child pornography, so suddenly you discover that this ideological censorship that benefits one side is being imposed in the name of this fictitious pretext of fighting hate speech. Same with academia. There's so many lies now in academia, so many lies that have crept into the textbooks, so many truths that have been excluded, and it's kind of all in the name of fighting hate speech, except 99% of this has nothing to do with hate.
Yeah. What do you think about the election coming up? Like I said earlier, the media, who has just blatantly lied, especially over the past 4 years, but for decades. But over the past 4 years, it seems like they've gotten to a position where they don't even care about looking like, of having any plausible deniability. They are in the pocket of the Democrats. They lie about everything. They're the ones putting out the polls. They pay the pollsters, and if they don't like what a pollster's doing, they'll pay another pollster that is giving them the agenda-driven information that they want to present to the people. So when I see these rallies today, Trump in Arizona, at the same time Kamala's in Arizona, the stark difference in attendance of these events is something we can see and hear with our own eyes and ears, not something fed to us by an industry that's lied to us now for the past 4 years. I think, personally, we are going to see an unbelievable turnout for Donald Trump, and I think when this is all over, we'll be like, how did we ever think Biden even had a chance? What's your take?
I agree totally, and I think that Biden is a preposterous candidate, a ridiculous individual. How the Democrats put him at the top of the ticket. For a while I thought, wow, what kind of maze, what sausage machine produced this absurd candidate? And then I realized they actually chose him. They pushed the other candidates out of the race.
Yeah, we saw that.
There's no way this guy can beat Trump. Yet the polls confuse me, because I say to myself, am I confusing like what I want to be the case with what is going to be the case? But then I look at the rallies and I go, look, those are the facts I can see with my own 2 eyes, and they don't really lie. So I'm expecting a Trump victory bigger than in 2016, and I just cannot wait to see the constipated faces of the media when this happens, because they have been lulling their own side into a false sense of security, and I just hope it comes back to haunt them.
I think think I was saying this earlier in the show. I think the reason they're presenting Biden as being in the lead or a coin toss in Texas and things like this, preposterous things like this, I honestly believe they need to present him as a viable candidate. They need to present this guy, because if they presented it like it really is, no one would go out and vote for him. It would be they'd be like, what do we do? Why would you go out and vote for a guy that we know is losing? They have to present it like, no, look at this, he's ahead. If you get out and vote, he might just win. Because they know they picked an insanely ridiculous candidate. And then the VP candidate couldn't even get to Christmas in the primaries before she had to drop out. Biden wouldn't have gotten in if Elizabeth Warren didn't drop out at the proper time. She stayed in before Iowa and then drops out, and all her votes go to Joe Biden. It was so calculated to screw Bernie again. And the way Trump was going off on how Bernie just can take a good screwing by the Democrats.
Housewife that keeps driving back.
Just keeps going back.
I mean, guys, the whole thing there's such a surreal quality to our public discussion. It's kind of like you're going to the Olympics, and then the media, the sportscasters are telling you, the one-legged guy is leading in the 200-yard dash. And you're like, really? What?
But they talk it up.
That quality, and it's like you can't believe what you're hearing, and if you have any ounce of common sense, you're going to say, can't the American people, granted that the media is spinning things, but they're doing it in such a transparent way that any ordinary person should be able to see, wow, CNN, really? You've got 17 panelists, and they all think the same way, they all hate Trump. There's no one you could find that's on the other side to make the case. I mean, how transparently obvious and ridiculous is that?
Yeah, they did the town halls they did, and they said that they had undecided voters in there, and then you saw video clips of these undecided voters trashing Trump at other events and their Facebook accounts and whatnot. It's like I said, every single thing they do, and especially of late, and I think in the next week especially, you're just going to see it get even worse, if that's even possible. They will lie. Every single thing they are putting out is a blatant lie to get their candidate elected or make it seem like he can be.
The difference, too, just today, think about it, the identity of this guy Anonymous, right? The New York Times publishes an article, and they leading government official, and people begin to speculate, hey, wow, is this Nikki Haley doing an expose of Trump? Could this be Mike Pence, sitting down at night and penning this article for the New York Times? Well, it turns out it's some low-level staffer at the DHS that no one has ever heard of, who worked briefly in government, then went to work for Google, now works for CNN.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is the fraud is really being exposed at every single level, just for anyone who has the eyes to see it.
Yeah, and the book's been available for a year, and they had to put the name Anonymous on it so people would buy it.
Yeah, you're not going to buy Miles, whatever his name is.
They're like, we need a better name than that.
It really is amazing. And by the way, that story is all over the place today. The Anonymous, he came out and said this. And again, you cannot even find, if you put Tony we all have Bobolinsky, yeah. You put his name in the search engine at CNN, and 0 stories come up. Like, they won't even talk about it. The media, you would think a real journalist would go, all right, I don't believe it. I think it is all fake. I think it is a Russian thing. Wouldn't that alone be interesting enough to want to pursue and say, how did this Russian asset get into our hands? Like, there's a whole story there on how it isn't Joe Biden or Hunter Biden's laptop, and how it isn't Joe Biden being talked about in this. It would, first of all, it would be the most amazing spy story ever if they were able to actually, Russians get a laptop, put Hunter Biden's pictures in it, emails from people, thousands of emails from people, corroborated with a eyewitness that was with the Bidens. Like, this is something a spy novel wouldn't even have in it. But they don't even want to cover that.
Let me get to the heart of the matter, which is that the media, they know. I mean, they know that Biden is thoroughly crooked. They know he's corrupt. They know he's been running a family crime racket. They know all this, and they're still trying to pull him over the finish line, which really shows how intellectually dishonest they are, because they're no less honest than Biden. That's why they're willing to be a part of this whole system of elaborate lies, just like the deep state.
Yeah, but it's
also
so obvious.
on shit.
Crackheads will pawn their computer equipment.
That's the best way to put it.
We have seen that happen.
Not shocking it got into the hands of people when you're trying to get yourself some crack. That's my theory.
Not the most dependable people.
That shows you that Biden is not only corrupt but dumb. I mean, to put this crackhead in charge of his whole collection agency, his international collection agency. And then I love the way he goes, it's Russian disinformation, as if the Russians wrote those emails.
Yeah, that's just it. It would be impossible. God, we'd all be speaking Russian if they were that brilliant to have been able to pull off something like this. It's beyond any Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy
But
shit.
see, but the reason Biden can say that is he knows that he's got complicity from the media. He knows that there's no one in the media who's going to say, really, show it. Let's see the Russian hand in all this, Joe Biden. Let's see you identify it. No one's going to do that. So he, in a sense, what it is he's got these co-conspirators at the New York Times and CNN and so on, and there's a wink-wink arrangement between them. I'll say it's a Russian disinformation, and all you idiots nod your head in sort of obvious agreement.
They just today, I guess, Biden had a speech. Where was it? Really far? Oh, Delaware. That's right. He was back in Delaware giving a speech, and he actually said
somewhere else though.
Yeah. He thought maybe he actually said he's going to go vote and then come back and answer questions from the media. So all right, they stuck around. He came back. He had his mask on. One question about Trump's horrid handling of COVID, and then he just walks away. I didn't hear any screaming, where's Hunter? What is this about the laptop? Did you meet with this guy? Not a peep. Are you the big guy? Nothing. They will not. They yell shit at Trump. Some of the most rank shit they'll yell at Trump while he's walking. And Trump will stop. He'll talk to the media. I've never seen a more transparent, available
Let me throw
president.
out an idea. I think it's time to up the ante on these guys and recognize them for the frauds they are. So if Trump is reelected, I think what he needs to do is create a new press room, exclude all these people.
Yes.
The basic idea is that you're not a real press. Yeah, you have journalistic badges and you go around calling yourself press, but you're not a press in the normal sense. A press is supposed to be, a free press is supposed to be independent, detached from government, applying a critical lens to what is going on, and sharing information with the public. We don't have a press in that sense, so it's time to create one. We need new voices and new people. There's no reason to allow any of these people near the White House Oval Office press room.
Absolutely.
You have Nolan Ryan throwing curveballs at President Trump, and then they just set up a tee for Biden to hit off of.
Oh, yeah.
It's just obvious when you watch these. And what worries me, and I don't know if you see this, but the information they want to put out now is, well, if you're going out to these rallies, you're part of a super spreader. That's why there's not a lot of people at these rallies. Are they trying to put that out there? Is there any chance of this? So they can say, well, all these Biden votes came from people that stayed at home and didn't turn out because they were being responsible. Because now, I already didn't trust and believe much, but now I'm kind of horrified by how, obvious and transparent they are.
Well, here's the thing. If Biden goes out there and there are literally 7 people out to see him, there are more reporters than there are Biden supporters, you have to explain that. You've got to come up with some reason why everyone thinks this guy is a dud, and you can't say that's the reason.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like, oh, you know what, my rally is by invitation only. I have to make sure that there are no super spreaders showing up. And that is the way that they cover up the fact that their candidate is not only corrupt, but basically not even all there.
Yeah. Before we let you go, I want to talk a little about Trump Card, the movie, of course, you wrote and directed. This movie, an expose of the socialism, corruption, and gangsterization that now define the Democratic Party. What are people saying to you? What are they coming away with after watching this? Because it's frightening. Unfortunately, there's not much optimism that this is going to go away anytime soon. When you watch it, it seems so embedded like a tick, this problem that we have. What kind of feedback are you getting on this?
Well, the people, it's getting fantastic feedback. I think it's really my best movie, and I've done an end run around the media by dropping it essentially into the homes of 300 million Americans. And you can see this movie on Apple iTunes, on Google, on YouTube. You can see it on Amazon Prime. You can buy the DVD from Walmart or Target. it. So it's available literally everywhere, and you can watch it any day, anytime, on any device. So it's great. I mean, it's a way of, we've been complaining about the media. Well, this is a way of going around those guys without having them as a filter and laying out an emotionally powerful narrative. You're right, it's frightening at times, but it's also moving and inspiring at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah, as I hope this whole thing ends up. As I hope this whole thing ends up being. Dinesh, thanks so much, man. We love having you on. You're always so great to talk to. Very enlightening. I love it. Continued success, and we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Thank you very much. Great fun, guys. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. That was Dinesh. Yeah, I like him. I do too. Much shows and stuff. He was ran through the mill. I mean, he got put through the ringer by the Obama machine that was going on at the time.
I read his book, and it's really fascinating because he has this stuff. What's it called? Proof.
Yeah. Well, proof. Wow. What the fuck?
Terrifying.
What the fuck is that?
And now
it is. Yeah.
I don't understand. I truly don't understand how most Americans look at, for example, this Bilbo Baggins fella whose name we keep forgetting.
Bilbo Baggins?
Tony Baggins. See, Tony Baggins comes out. You can't Google him, you can't find him, you can't look him up, you can't find out about this laptop, you can't do any of this, and we're not angry.
Yeah, that's another big part of it. You're absolutely right. People should be mad about the fact that you can't find this.
Unless you're so broken or getting broken down, you just take it.
He was on Tucker Carlson last night. Tucker Carlson, the news came out yesterday, I think, that he is the highest rated news program ever.
It's also, Gutfeld's also the highest rated late night program. Then Tucker, I think, is the highest rated program.
News program, like ever in history, and it blows away. It's not even close. The guy gets like an average of almost 6 million viewers every night. For a news show, he blows away everybody. He had him on for the entire show last night. Bilbo Baggins. Tony Spumoni was on the entire show last night. And it was great. I watched the whole thing. The guy comes off as so credible. Yeah, new ratings milestone. Monthly average viewership, highest for any program in cable news history. Cable news history. The guy is great. I love watching Tucker. He will give Trump shit. He will. He's not like Hannity. You know, Hannity's kind of. He's like a Trump's mini-me. He goes around, he tries to give people nicknames and they're not as funny as Trump's. She's like, yeah. Like, I get what he's doing, and I respect Hannity. I like him.
Isn't always the best thing when on that level.
Yeah.
No, but part of Hannity, why it works, though, is it's one thing to be biased and be honest, and you can also, you can be biased and honest.
Yeah.
You can be biased and be a complete fucking liar.
Yeah.
That's what I see as the difference between him and...
Oh, crazy. Yep. And Tucker, on the other hand, he'll go up and his opening monologues every night are really compelling. He backs things up. He won't say certain things because they aren't confirmed yet. But he's done his homework. He has people that are involved in the story, and he's fearless. The guy will call out Black Lives Matter. That sounds like, oh, wow, really? Wow, what a great... No, that is a big fucking deal.
You mean on his program or when they surround his house?
Yeah, when they surround his fucking house and threaten his family. But it's true.
Newscaster.
That is hard to do. People are being taken hostage by organizations like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, a lot of these news organizations. You can't voice your opinion. Like I said, we were able to sit here and say that this Walter fucking, what's his name? Walter White.
Ben Tootsie.
Walter Williams, Walter Wayne, Walter, the dead guy.
What's this?
Wallace. William Wallace, the guy from fucking Scotland. Freedom. No, Walter Wallace. William Wallace.
It was Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart. We're able to sit here and say, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
Braveheart?
Yes. Freedom my ass. Longshanks knew what he was doing when he carved that asshole up. Yeah, we're able to sit here and say that. And to some people that seems like, oh, well, what's the big deal? It is a big deal. Because a lot of people, the majority of people can't say that out in public. They'll be fucking crucified, lose their jobs, things like that. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be something that happens in this country. But it is. We're being held hostage. You can't even criticize the rioters. Because then you're saying, well, this is how people grieve. This is how people show their frustration with systemic racism. So if you say the looting's bad, you're for systemic racism and the Klan. And really, this isn't outrageous. I'm not saying something outrageous. This has been said by people. So everyone's so scared that it seems like there's not a voice for this, a popular majority voice that says, fuck that guy, or fuck Black Lives Matter, or fuck these riots and looting. But there is. But people are petrified because the powers that be in the media and politics have the power to take your shit away for voicing your opinion. And that's the thing that really has to change. That's the fucking thing that needs immediate changing. Because then you'll start seeing that it isn't just the voice of the media and elitist Hollywood liberals. Americans have a voice. And if you actually heard that without the cover of fear that everyone has because their whole livelihood can be taken away, I think you'd see a stark difference in what's being said out there, as I think we're going to see a stark difference on Tuesday when you look at the ridiculous polls and the mainstream media and what actually happens, an amazing Donald Trump win. I believe. Thank you. Hey, there's some fun things happening. Oh! I swear.
I just I agree.
It's obvious, but it's pushed down. You don't have to take much of a look.
I don't think it's that hidden. I think anytime you bring up anything, there's a built-in excuse.
Yeah.
And I think because there's a lot of younger people, the idea of the reward system, it sounds so almost hacky at this point with everybody gets a trophy, but the problem was we raised an entire generation who are the most angry right now and malleable for this party.
Brainwashing.
We raised them to get accolades every time they did something.
Every shit and they get fucking,
you get here's a star, here's a little ribbon. What we really did kind of build in this reward system. And then we sent them into the real world, which is not fair.
Right.
Does not give you a reward.
No.
Requires a great deal of work. So now,
get ahead, right.
Take away work. You're rooting for socialism because you don't understand that human beings, I think, are by nature, truthfully, greedy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're powerful, you're going to be at the very top of that, trying to use and take from everybody under you. And it's working because you're fresh out.
Yeah.
It is, though.
Yeah, it is.
The reality is we are not a fully evolved animal. We talk about murders, killings, riots. This is going on right now. There's people being killed right now, brutally. We're fucking animals.
Yeah.
The more and more we're being manipulated and driven back into that instinct or something to follow, mixed with this idea of you have to be liked for everything that you do and rewarded for everything that you do, is absolutely killing us. And the media is behind it.
Oh, the media is, for everyone that thinks the media isn't a huge part, if not the biggest part of this problem, you're out of your mind. At least, and the media, not only just the news media, but movies, television shows, what kids see. I want to play something here, as a matter of fact.
You have time to be angry when you have everything. That's what a lot of Americans don't realize. Even the poorest ones right now that are struggling probably still know somebody who'll throw them some bread.
Yeah. Throw them a few bucks.
You have a phone. You have to have a lot going on for you to be able to even have the ability to get pissed off and burn somebody else's building down.
Yeah.
You don't have pride of ownership. You don't have compassion for other people. Empathy's out the window. But you still have that deep-seated need to be liked that social media has done.
Attention, like me. Here's what is it Cartoon Network? High Horse. This is from Cartoon Network. Yeah, Cartoon Network. Okay. It's an anti-racist PSA featuring characters from this cartoon that I guess is popular with small children. I saw it as an anti-racist PSA, and then I'm seeing other things go on here. I'm like, what the fuck? This could be the most woke nonsense I've ever seen. But yes, Rob.
It is. It's called Steven Universe. It is a kids' cartoon, but that's not the main audience. The main audience is older liberal people that watch this. It's a good cartoon, but it preaches a lot of messages, open gayness.
A lot of messages. This thing that I'm going to play for you right now is like I said, it's fucking Krypton.
Well, I certainly hope they don't play any Family Guy or Teenage, what's that show with French Fry and fucking
Aqua Teen
Hunger Force. You know, any of the programs at Black Jesus. You know, anything on there that may be the Boondocks.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, so as long as they don't play any of their old cartoons that they've played, whatever, they'll be good.
I was so like anti Rick and Morty, not anti Rick and Morty, but I really didn't give a shit.
It's funny.
Like Rick and Morty, all right. It's like, have you seen it? I'm like, no. And then Missy popped it on. I watched a couple episodes and needed to watch every single episode that's out there. It is so. You did. You were there. It's so fucking funny. It's so well done. It's so I don't give a shit. It's a great cartoon. You know, of course, I'm really breaking some new ground here years after. But you know, for someone that came to it late, goddamn, that is a funny goddamn cartoon.
Well, really cartoons have always been this really great thing for comedy because you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
And the fact that what you're about to show me I haven't even seen yet, but the idea of trying to make cartoons politically correct is just the last step of shit. And
you need to do that, Dave.
He's probably downstairs, man.
There's so much going on. But
they're moving drawings.
Oh, your pillow, yeah.
You are a fucking asshole. I'm sending you away.
Hey, when we're older, let's get married.
Could you pause for a minute?
It's your loan.
Okay.
This is pillow number 8.
Go back to the picture. So Sharon and Opie go down the slide together.
He's a dog.
And they decide they want to get married because they're having so much fun together.
The rap group Kid and Gay.
Right.
Because you paid
and then this guy comes up. I think Guy.
I don't know if
but who knows?
You are assuming
I'm assuming gender on something that is two-dimensional and doesn't have a penis or vagina in it. I'm assuming gender, so I'm a horrible person. So what they got here not only is a race angle, but a gay thing. And then the kid comes in. Continue, because it goes to race. You would think that would be silly, and it would go to something else like sexuality, but they don't even touch that.
Black people can't marry white people.
Oh my God! Can I get that as a ringtone? Is there a way I can just get that to blast through my phone on the train?
Okay, people, we just need to get covered.
Can you rewind? I'm sorry, I was a little loud during that. I got so excited at the prospect of hearing black people can't marry white people. Let me hear that again.
It's for me.
Why not? Black people can't marry white people.
Hey now.
Why not?
Hey now.
Black people can't marry white people.
Hey now.
It's Garnet from Steven Universe.
Kids, don't be racist.
Cut. Okay, people, we just need to get coverage. They're starting in 5.
Deeply accepts homosexuals.
Yeah. Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life.
I find it.
Are you kidding?
Brother man.
Just
Look, a
because
black guy can marry a black guy.
doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Seriously, I didn't know. Yeah, everyone messes up sometimes. But you gotta realize it hurts to deal with racism. And when people act like it's not real, it makes it feel even worse.
Oh. You have to acknowledge racism to work against it.
You're right. I can do that.
You kids better work on this before the wedding.
Well, that's just a start. Only just for today.
I'm just working up, loosening up my asshole for that big deacon on my honeymoon. Don't deny it, defy it. Be anti-racist.
So to be anti-racist, you want to bring up race differences as much as humanly possible.
Of course.
That's what it means.
Oh,
yes.
My bad. I thought being anti-racist is just not being a racist piece of shit.
Right.
But instead, let's constantly talk about the skin color of people.
Treating everyone as equals. That's not being
Yeah.
racist.
You're being racist. You're not acknowledging how.
Oh, I gotta acknowledge that.
Every time you sit down with a black person, just bring it up until they walk off with dinner.
I gotta bring it up. Do you know there are so many rules what white people are, how they're supposed to act and what they're supposed to do when they're hanging out with black people? Like, I've read a whole list of these things.
Can't even get the handshakes.
Like, they legitimately say things like, allow the person of color to continue what they have said until they are finished before you talk. That's like just basic manners kind of a thing. And a lot of it was just manners, but it's like, don't jump into a conversation between two people of color that are having a racial discussion because it's not your place. Like, these whole things, they're fucking a shitload of lists that are exactly like this. And it's so fucked up because if you're hanging out with black people, wouldn't you just treat them exactly like you treat everybody else? And that isn't being racist. If you have to resort to a fucking list on how you're supposed to treat your black friends because they're black, isn't that insanely racist? But there's nothing about treating everyone equal. If you're a great person, fun to hang out with, you help out with it, of course you're going to be a respected, good friend. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, and you should be able to be called a piece of shit without the person calling you a piece of shit being called a racist because you happen to be a black piece of shit. It's beyond me how everything they say to do to be anti-racist is amongst the most racist things you could possibly do on this planet.
It's just treat people with the same goddamn.
Yes, equality.
There's no reason to treat anybody any different.
No. But like, there's lists and there's different rooms to be in.
You're like, listen, guys, I invited my friend Sean. Now he is black.
Yeah, oh boy.
And you might not notice it when he walks up, but I do have this book we can read real.
Yeah. Let's read that. So all you think of when he walks up is that he's black, and you have to apply different rules to him than you would any other person, because that's not racist. That's the not racist way to treat people.
Bring up race organically.
Right.
Organically, constantly talk about how he's black in a way that you won't notice.
Right.
That you know you accept him.
It's so ridiculous, and that it's that obvious that it becomes funny. It's so stupid to think that everything they put in place to tell you that you're not a racist is to do things that are horribly racist. Yeah.
I noticed you two gentlemen were talking about race, and I just went, hey now.
I didn't want to chime in because you're black. Right. And normally, if they were white people, I would jump right in with my opinion, and we would all share ideas and perhaps influence each other or not, agree to disagree. But you're black, so to not be racist, I'm going to treat you completely different than I would anyone else.
I realize you're having a lovely conversation about how that chick motherfucker up the street charged too much for laundry.
Yeah. Why the Koreans own all the liquor stores?
Oh, maybe it's because everybody's a little bit racist.
Right.
Is that it? Maybe everybody's a little bit. Isn't that kind of how we get along?
It's not this.
We acknowledge the most ridiculous things a culture does, and then we laugh about it.
There's another thing.
What do I know?
That's the race part. There's another trans thing. This was from yesterday's list.
Cartoon Network.
If you could find this. No, it wasn't on. But it would be. I think there are,
Let's get married.
There's a trans character on the new Rocco's Modern Life. He decided to put a trans character in there, but
it's almost fitting.
I think it's, yeah.
I like that show, but
I think it's like as a joke. If they're treating it like we're coming back after so many years and they just put a trans character in there as a joke to all this stuff, then it's great. Then that's fucking. But if they actually seriously did it, then it goes against, I think, everything that whole 90s kind of genre of cartoon was really all about. It was about pointing out bullshit and acknowledging it. This was the trans. Not even a trans. Dude, this is so bizarre. It's the mother and father of this boy, but the boy looks and acts exactly like a girl. It's not trans, though. He's still a he. Don't call him a she, because he's a he. He's just gender fluid, I believe. Fluid. Some children are considered gender fluid. That's right, gender fluid. So, just look at the father in this. Again, another one of these things where it's like, I don't know what's going on. So this little boy.
Wait, this is Rocco's modern life?
No. This is just.
For me, being myself is just being creative.
Yeah, I like to put eyeshadow
Some
on my
things that I like to do are makeup, hair, and advocating for the LGBTQ community.
Oh, really? Is that what you do at 11 or whatever the fuck you are? Advocating for the LGBTQ community. Can you pause this?
I also like
Pause for a minute.
big fan.
This is the parents. This is the parents just smashing this kid into this attention mold. They need this attention. So they grab this kid at a young age, and maybe the kid I think the kid's gay. I think the kid's just gay. He's a gay boy. And that perhaps, that is a boy. That's a boy. The kid's got a dick, little balls, whatever the fuck. It's a boy. Because if you fucking take any boy that age, put makeup on him, he's gonna look like a girl. They haven't gone through anything yet. Their features, they all look the same.
What are you going as for Halloween, everybody? A human being?
Yeah, go as a human.
The only costume you can wear now.
Yeah.
Decent person.
But gay isn't good enough now. They probably noticed this kid's effeminate. He liked to play with girls' clothes and things like that.
And all little boys are effeminate. They're not sexual yet.
No, you don't see like
John Mulaney does a great bit on that. How he's like, I don't want to say all little kids are gay, but only like a 4-year-old boy can go like, I just want to go play with my birds.
And with my bird. That's funny.
It's like they're all effeminate. You don't.
They're all femmy.
You don't buy them makeup and be like, well, when you grow up, we're gonna saw that cock off.
Yeah. Your 6-year-old doesn't slide out on a creeper from under a Chevy with a fucking oil filter in his hand, going, God damn it, go down and get me another one of these. They're little femmy. They're figuring shit out.
They're just growing boys. Right. You're supposed to guide them. Not let them do whatever the fuck they want, because if they did, they'd be getting into every van that pulled up. Be a parent, you fucking assholes.
Well, having a gay kid.
There's nothing wrong with having a gay kid.
But it's not enough, Dave.
There's nothing wrong with injecting your child with hormones and giving fake tits to a boy. Just fucking stop.
It's not enough for a child, it's not enough for parents to have a gay kid anymore. It's not enough to go, look, we're proud of my gay son. My son's gay. You like my gay kid? No, but that's the thing. So now, if your kid's gay like this kid, he's probably gay, the parents have to go, maybe he's right. Maybe he's trans something, or maybe he's gender fluid. Oh, imagine if we took him out to our friends and told them that we have a gender fluid child, and then they shove him in this mold to be this. Like, he doesn't know what the LGBTQ community is.
Your friends that, and watch how they have secret birthday parties that you're not invited to, and they stop taking the invitations.
They all give them attention, and they pat the parents on the back, tell them how great they are, how proud. Isn't it great that nowadays you can blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. And they are pushing this kid into this weird, because they probably said, are you trans? And he's like, no, I want my dick and blah, blah, I'm a boy. He's like, no, you're probably trans. No.
He's like,
yeah, what? Yeah, that's all he knows is a kid.
I'm Optimus Prime.
And then so when he's screaming, he's not a fucking girl. Like they want to dress him up like a girl, and he's not. Then they had to come up with some other fucking cockamamie thing that he's gender fluid, but then still put him in a dress and grow his hair and put makeup on the little fucking kid. It's all for the parents. This is Munchausen syndrome by proxy for the new millennium.
Yeah,
I'm old millennium now.
Be myself.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
To be myself.
I almost got away
with it.
with it.
To be someone else.
Yeah.
Wearing a cheerleading skirt.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll do this.
Parents say it's good, so people like them. Again, because everybody has to be liked. They're willing to sacrifice any real belief they have for the greater bad.
Who thought the good old days would be like better when a the father would just punch the kid in the face and not acknowledge him anymore for the rest of his life.
Thank my dad every now and then for fucking shit me.
This kid would be, "Hi, Dad, I'm gay," and that was the last words he ever spoke to him. Those are the good old days. Now Dad is putting him in a dress and showing him off to his fucking coworkers.
If your son just goes up to you and goes, "I'm gay," you're like, "That's it, right?"
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were a Republican.
Oh my God.
Here's fucking girl boy.
CJ, growing up, he was always creative.
Growing up,
always
CJ, grown up.
He's fucking.
CJ is going to be given a lot of BJ, I think.
The first
he gets
1 to 2
older.
years of his life, he didn't seem to like anything like blocks and trucks and balls.
Balls.
He didn't like any of those toys. We just figured, well, he'll find something eventually.
My earliest memories were, I think, finding a Barbie in my mom's room, which that kind of sparked my whole adventure in being gender creative.
Gender creative, that's it.
More of the skirts, dresses, and more of the more feminine clothes.
Kid's gay is all. It's just a gay boy.
I also remember my dad coming into my room late at night and dragging something smelly across my face.
Yeah, fucking cuck Jim Gaffigan sitting there with his goddamn cunt wife who put his son in a dress. That's what happened.
Yeah, my first memories are my mom telling me that you're not a boy.
Yeah.
Forcing me into princess dresses.
Into dresses.
Because I like to hula hoop for a weekend.
Yeah, I stepped around in her high heels one night and they caught me and that's it. Threw me in a dress.
And I'm realizing that's what any human being does because all people are curious creatures. They said, "I'm so glad you found yourself."
Yes. Are you a boy? Yeah.
3.
Sure you're not a girl? No, I'm not a girl. Are you transgender? No. How about gender creative?
What?
That's a good, wacky, weird, insane fuck name for something.
It's gender. Well, it doesn't matter.
You don't know. I don't know.
You paint and wear a dress, son?
But
as long as you can fucking paint and wear...
We're running out of a little bit of time here, but...
Sorry,
no, I believe me.
CJ's gender identity is male. His gender expression is female. So that makes him gender non-conforming.
Look at the guy. He looks over and like,
he likes being
God, I
a boy.
want to punch you in the fucking
He's
face.
happy with his boy body, but he always says, like, I like being a boy.
That guy's so gay.
I think your father's gay. Could you rewind that?
Well, I can tell by his shirt, but
gender non.
He looks like the 2 parents on Modern Family in one person.
Yeah. The father's gay. He's probably in this thing where he's either, he can't take his own sexuality, being gay, so he's got to go through all this shit. Oh, my God. Listen to him.
I'm sure he takes it when he goes on business trip.
Oh, yeah. Like fucking Vito Spatafori in The Sopranos. Oh, I love you, Johnny Cakes.
So that makes him gender non-conforming.
He likes being a boy. He, is happy with his boy body, but he always says, like, I like being a boy. I just like girl things.
Nice. Do you like a little bit of sugar? Well, we need a highlight brush. That's when I started a blog about raising a little boy.
Hold on. Gotta pause it again. There it is. That's when I started to blog about raising a... me. She sits there. I'm blogging about my boy girl. Because it's her attention. She probably gets such accolades. She sits there, reads the comments. You are the most wonderful mother I've ever seen. Boy, girl, mom. Oh, she must love it because me, the attention. This woman would be feeding that kid Lysol in the soup years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Taking him to the hospital because he's sick.
Shaving his head for fake cancer.
Yeah, fake cancer, mom. That's what would be happening. But now it's easy. You slap a dress on the kid, put a little makeup, and you're the life of fucking your blog.
It's great. We brought my son down to Macy's. We were trying on makeup.
Yeah.
Even the girl behind the counter was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
No, I remembered that's when I thought this is the right choice for me.
I know this was the right choice for me. Him, her, what?
I don't know what.
Could you play a little more?
Went to college so he was a girl at heart.
Love that. We're going for like a monochromatic peachy look today. Yeah. I like all the trends for makeup. Concealer, bronzer, highlighter, obviously, an art form, and I've always been interested in painting and art.
Painting, shut her up. What do you say there, Bill? Come on, Mike.
As parents, you can create a safe, loving environment in your home. But your kids, you can't protect them at all times. You can't defend them at all times.
When I was in 5th grade, I had a group of friends that turned on me.
We had a dance, and the only punch they had was to my face.
And then they just started bullying me.
Yeah, because they're kids in 5th grade.
At one point,
You're in a
he was
dress.
crying. He was at school, and he said, I'm just not going to come to school tomorrow. And one of the girls said, good, no one would notice if you were gone. If you were gone forever, no one would
That girl's
notice.
probably jealous because she's not getting the attention that one's getting. So she'll become gay.
Trust me, they're going to notice that the kid's a weird trend kid.
Yeah. Exactly. And now they drag. Oh, I love my gender creative son. They drag him to parades and do. It's an abomination. I think James West is saying that both of you dismembered in a freezer in the garage when your kid realizes what you've done to the family.
Concerned about our son.
I didn't feel happy.
Somebody's going to watch this while they're looking at a lunchroom.
Yeah.
And I was just down all the time.
Yeah,
because your
you'll be
parents...
down all the time when you get older. On your knees.
A year later, we got a call from OC Pride, and they asked if he would be Grand Marshal, because they said when one of our members is pushed down or made to feel small, we rise them up, we bring them up.
When they asked me, I didn't know what Grand Marshal was, and once my mom...
You didn't know what Grand Marshal was, but you know what LGBTQ and gender creative and fucking all that nonsense is.
You don't know your alphabet, but you can put on makeup.
Yeah.
person, and it taught me that haters are not worth the time.
It's a gay son that they needed to make more than a gay son.
You can't even be mad at the kid.
Like, the kid is so fucked up and confused now. It doesn't.
I needed just one, and now
Even if it was like a straight girl, like, shouldn't be wearing makeup at that age anyway.
Yeah, that's another thing, right?
That's my problem, is it's sexualizing your kid. It doesn't...
Yeah, and it is. It's exactly what it's doing. They're sexualizing a child here. You can't take away that sexualization when you're doing stuff like gender creative, and it all comes into play. They're a sick, disturbed group of people. I would love to talk about it more, but we do have to go. Dave, where will you be besides the Pride Parade with your gender creative clothing?
Hanging from a ceiling.
Spinning slowly.
Kansas City, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Yes.
Go no. Kansas City.
It's Thursday Tiffs in Morris Plains, New Jersey at 8:30 p.m. That's at night. AveLando.com.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow. Don't fear. Have a great night, and we'll see you then on the morrow, as they say. Ribadurches and Urbitazines and Bon Voyages. I'll wait till the mic goes off.
Good idea. We don't want to be
Black people can't marry white people.
Hey.
Alrighty.
this a lovely little thing? Deal. Here. Pleasure.
Alright, folks, that's it for now. I'm going to do my meeting, and then I will be back afterwards. I gotta get some things set up for the podcast. Oh wait, I don't have to tomorrow because it got canceled. But yeah, anyways, yeah, thanks. Bye.
All right.